Now, here's your Rutherford weather forecast.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is Sunday. Happy Easter. Hope you had a wonderful Easter. Boy, was the weather not just absolutely great for Easter this year, even though it was in March. You know, it's always kind of, you never know what you get in March, right? We are rolling into April. Tomorrow, April 1. And this is not an April Fool's joke. We're going to have the possibility of some severe weather on Tuesday. So that's kind of why we wanted to pop in here and talk about that with you here this evening. It's been close to 80 today, going to be close to 80 tomorrow. And let's see, take a look at the forecast. It will be 81 tomorrow. That's the forecast temperature. And as you can see on Tuesday, 76 degrees. Could be a little warmer, could be a little cooler, just depending on where we get those thunderstorms. And that thunderstorm icon there tells us that we've got some impactful weather that could come our way. So we want to talk about it. This gives you a heads up to think about what's going on. You probably have heard a lot about it already. We're not really here just to shake the hype machine at all. Just want to give you some information and let you do with that what you will. And obviously you are, if you're catching this, a weather person who wants to find out, what's going on here in our backyard. So let's take a look at it first here with some information. This from the National Weather Service in Nashville and the Storm Prediction Center. To the left here, where I just put that check mark, that's where you see a categorical outlook, day 3. So this will be updated tomorrow and will look different than that. This is a level 1 in the green. This is a level 2 in the yellow, and a level 3 out of 5 levels of severe weather potential. So let's take a look at those, and then we'll come back to this, okay? You've got a marginal or slight risk, or marginal, slight risk, enhanced risk, moderate, and high. So that's levels 1 through 5. Sometimes the name marginal and slight kind of give us a false sense of what to expect. So if we go back, we'll see that Rutherford County, which is right there, the little dot there, that's Rutherford County. We are well in that level 2 out of 5, which means a slight risk. We like to call it level 2 out of 5. And confidence increasing that some storms could contain damaging winds, severe hail, and or a tornado potential. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about here. This second, Matt, where you see the red bullseye right here, what that is showing us is the potential for severe weather. What percentage is that? Okay, so the percentage in this red is 30%. So a pretty significant risk of severe weather anywhere within that, which is why this is a level 3 out of 5, and about 15% in the yellow. Okay. So what does all of this mean? Let's just kind of summarize it here for you, because I know a lot of people stay here at the very beginning and then move on to other things, and that's fine. We are going to dive into some details in a moment, but the National Weather Service in Nashville is expecting scattered strong to severe storms to develop ahead of a cold front across West Tennessee Tuesday morning, and then move across Middle Tennessee by late morning and into the afternoon hours. And storms will have the potential for damaging winds that could damage trees and power lines, large hail, frequent lightning, and a few tornadoes. Now, if you look here at our hazard levels, you can see everybody wants to go, are we going to have tornadoes? Well, our hazard level for tornadoes is 2, along with hail. We see the most significant hazard will be wind, straight line wind. So that's kind of what we'll be looking at there. All right, so what do we need to be doing now? Okay, we're a few days out right now. Tomorrow will be the day before. So We've got a forecast in a few days calling for severe weather possibilities. Make sure you've got your emergency supplies and know where your safe place is going to be. Have a communication plan with the family. And tomorrow, once we get a little closer into the forecast, especially tomorrow afternoon, that may mean you want to adjust some plans for the next day, which would be the day of. Make sure that your phone can receive the WEAs or wireless emergency announcements. And make sure that you know where you're going to shelter in case that happens. And on the day of, remain vigilant. That means just pay attention to the weather forecast, know the difference between watch and warnings, and have a way to get those watches and warnings. So what is the difference? It's been a while since we've had severe weather, so that's why we want to kind of go over this. A tornado watch would mean that it's for a particular area, like the area may be central or middle Tennessee. It's called central Tennessee sometimes, and that is aggravating to a middle Tennessean, right? So in middle Tennessee, a tornado watch, that would encompass several counties, right? But a tornado warning would be specific. It could include just northeastern Rutherford County, for instance. So that's the difference between a watch and a warning. Tornadoes are possible in a watch area, and in a tornado warning, a tornado has been sighted or is indicated on radar. Few things that we want to look at here, and then we're going to go to our Rutherford weather radar and take a look at some of the modeling. But this, I just wanted to kind of show you the reason why we could possibly get some of these storms twisting and turning. That doesn't mean that that wind is going to come down in a tornado, but we're going to have wind dynamics out of multiple directions, which allows for those storms to kind of rotate. And that could also mean, you know, just to grow larger to the point where they could bring down some damaging straight line winds too. But if we take a look at the three areas here, just kind of center your attention maybe right here in the middle, okay? Because that's kind of where we are. And look at the wind direction barbs. That's what those little things that look like a feather right there and here and all over this map here. Those are the wind directions. So here is wind direction at 500 millibars. Then we go to 700 and see it's in a different direction. And then even higher up. So we do have some turning of the winds, and that's what we are most looking at, the possibility of damaging straight line winds. But you could see there those winds turning with height, and that in essence has caused the severe weather potential to come in. Now, when we look at severe weather potential, we look at several various products that give us an idea of significant weather. So let's go back over to our Rutherford weather radar, and we are going to take a look here at, of course, Futurecast. And we have a model picked out here showing the reflectivity mode, and we're going to let it load up here. And then I can show you kind of some of the different products that we look at. One of those is the significant, well, let me do the supercell composite first, and we'll let that load in here. And we'll be able to toggle a little quicker once it loads to the different products. I told you we might get into the nitty gritty, and then we'll go back over things here in just a second before wrapping up. So you can see the time right here, okay? So we need to get to 4:02, right? So this is 1 a.m. on 4:02. Now, what are we looking at? We are looking at the supercell composite, and supercell composite and the significant tornado parameter. We're looking at the measure of several different atmospheric conditions, and these are computer forecasting what could happen in the future, right? But this is just a measure of several of those indicators to kind of give us an idea of storm potential. So this one is supercell composite. What are supercells? Well, it's those thunderstorms that can cause damaging straight line winds as well as tornado possibilities. All right, so we have got it here at 1 o'clock. This is in the morning. So let's move on here to, let's say, 12 p.m. And we can see here, and any number over 1 means that you have the potential for, in this case, a supercell. That could be a thunderstorm that's capable of producing damaging straight line winds. Okay, so as you can see, Rutherford County, yep, we've got, we're well into that over 1 situation, right? As we move on into the afternoon, there's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. We see those numbers go up, right? That means the a little more potential with all of the ingredients that have to come together for severe weather. And again, this is just a computer model. Let's take a look at the significant tornado parameter. And again, with this one, anything over 1 means that it is possible to get a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. Now, of course, here at 4 p.m., 1 up to 2.8. At 7 o'clock, it's 2, 1.6. So that's at 8 p.m. I do want to show you something here because, you know, you can get into this and think, oh my gosh, that's going to be the bullseye at 6 o'clock. Again, just remember, this is number 1, a computer model. And number 2, it's just showing us where we have the best potential. That's why we're in a level 2 out of 5. You remember that area we talked about being a 3 out of 5? Well, you see how up into Kentucky, that's Lexington and Frankfort, Kentucky, and on up into the areas in Ohio, Cincinnati. See, those numbers are greater. So that doesn't mean that our area won't see as bad of weather as they may see up into Kentucky. It just means that there is a greater chance, it looks like, for some significant storms, strong to severe storms. So that's a couple of the things that we can look at. We can also see what the radar thinks will be going on in terms of storms. This is composite reflectivity, which would be like a radar depiction. This is what the computer model is saying could look. This is what the radar could look like at any given time. So let me back it up here because it's really the afternoon hours that we're concerned about. I even zoom out just a little bit into Kentucky so you can see Kentucky and Ohio. This is again for Tuesday. It's 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m. So you see where it shows kind of maybe a line of severe storms in the Kentucky, Louisville area on up into Cincinnati. I'm going to zoom on back in a little closer, back it up just a little bit here. And again, this is Middle Tennessee. Here is Rutherford County. Any of the areas that are popping up here, 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 those could be severe storms. And what is interesting to note here with the storms is we see one here and then another here and maybe another here and one here. It's not like we see a full line of storms that's moving in one direction. We see several individual storms. That's why we think that these storms are going to be very scattered. And this is not, I can guarantee you, this is not what it will look like at 3 p.m. on Tuesday. This is just a depiction. Here's a forecast model of 4 p.m. As you can see, those storms kind of individualized. As we move on to 5 o'clock, there's 6 o'clock, there's 7 o'clock, there's 8 o'clock. So I think this particular model may be a little behind on the convection here, because if we go back to our supercell composite, for instance, see how that energy has pushed on further to the east, or those indicators that we use here have pushed on. So I think maybe the model is a bit behind, but nonetheless, we kind of have an idea of what the potential is for severe weather on Tuesday. So with that, as we wrap up, just to kind of give you another heads up here to recap things, tomorrow, Monday, fine. Weather's going to be really good. It's early Tuesday, throughout the day on Tuesday into Tuesday afternoon and evening, when we'll be watching for any of the storms to cause the potential for severe storms, strong to severe storms, capable of producing damaging straight line winds. There is a tornado possibility, but again, the high wind possibility is higher in our hazards outlook, right? So that doesn't mean that if there's a storm, it's a tornadic storm. So just keep this in mind. This is kind of our first go around this year here in Rutherford County during severe weather season of something that could be an impactful day. Impactful, you know, if you get a storm that blows a tree down from a straight line winds at your home, that's an impactful weather event for you, right? So again, not trying to sound the alarm. It's time to get prepared now. We'll look at things tomorrow, see what the forecast shows us tomorrow, and then we have our day before action steps, and then we have our action steps on day of, right? So this is just to kind of get us prepared. Well, we've gone probably too long, but that's okay. If you've stuck around this long, I appreciate you doing that. If you could help us out by sharing the video, wherever you're watching it, share it, Facebook, on Twitter or X, and of course, YouTube, all of those places. Share the links, share RutherfordWX.com, Rutherford Weather, RutherfordWX.com. And during impactful and severe weather events and right before, we try to give you as much information as we can. So share it with all of your Rutherford County, Tennessee friends, and let them know that we'll be here to keep you ahead and safe in the storm. All right. Hope you have a great rest of your Easter evening, and we'll see you back here next time.
Now, here's your Rutherford weather forecast.